Hello, everybody. Kevin J. Johnston here. This is the Real Estate Show, episode number 23. That is correct. Episode 23, everybody. Always eternally grateful to have all of you here joining us. We're gonna dive right into this, everybody. And we got our good friend Austin Hess joining us right now. Austin, you're driving around. You never sit still. Tell us, buddy, first off, where are you and how have you been?
I have been amazing. Thank you for asking. You know, it's been so great. So many of your viewers are reaching out. We're helping as many as we can, at least figure out what is possible down here in Panama. So again, I'm addicted to helping people, whether it's helping people find a great restaurant, hotel, or adventure through the magazine, or of course, do Panama real estate and relocation.
Right.
And just glad to be here again with you guys. I'm actually just left the city about 2.5 hours ago. And I'll be going to Santiago, staying in Santiago this evening, and then going over with some clients to look at a beautiful piece of land right off of Coiba Island and the famous Hannibal Bank. That's where the capital for black marlin fishing in the entire world, right here in Panama.
Black marlin fishing. So I heard that it takes about 6 hours to pull a marlin into your boat. Is that true?
It depends on how big your guns are.
Yeah. Well, we're okay.
Yeah, we're okay. You know, might take me a week or two, but hey, who's counting?
We're definitely all right. So let's dive right into this, Austin. You've been in Panama for how long?
I've been in Panama for over 12 years now.
And you're originally an American citizen?
I am still an American citizen. I have permanent lifetime residency in Panama.
That is fabulous. And obviously you've been doing real estate in Panama for a great deal of time. So I just wanted to get you to talk a little bit. I want you to compare real estate in Panama to other places in the world that you've been. Please go ahead.
Well, it's real interesting. You know, I started off here in Panama. Panama is really an open canvas for anyone looking to do or start a business in Panama. And I started with publications and, newspapers and magazines having to do with tourism, and have the ability to travel to all these great places, meet great people, and also see some of the kinks and the corks with people looking to retire here, have a business, and just all the elements that go along with that. Fast forward, pandemic hits, and being a positive guy, I wanted to continue giving people positive energy. And so I was interviewing business owners that were part of the magazine and newspaper and application that we had. And through doing that, got a lot of attention from others about wanting to find a way to move to Panama, especially people that were working on their computers from Medford, Oregon, saying, hey, why don't I bring more quality to my life? And doing that by relocating to a country like Panama, what is so accepting, to Canadians, to U.S. citizens. There's 48 friendly nation countries where it's so easy to get lifetime permanent residency in this country. And if you're making an income or you have a pension from another country, you're making income from another country, any money coming into your Panamanian bank account is tax-free. So it really made that awesome element that much more attractable to people from Canada and the United States.
I just want to reflect on what you just said there very quickly. So a Canadian or an American or a Brit or an Aussie, a New Zealander comes to Panama, opens a corporation, and is living in Panama, paying rent in Panama, buying in Panama, but does all of their earnings from outside of Panama. Those earnings are tax-free so long as they're inside of Panama and the money is not being made in Panama. Do I have it right?
Yeah, well, they don't actually even have to be in Panama. It's just if that money is made or coming from an entity outside of the country. So again, pensions. We have a lot of Canadians that will come down, give up residency in Canada, take residency in Panama. Someone that works on a captain on a ship. They're paying they're making $500,000 a year. They're paying 250, 260 to the government in taxes. They give up their residency in hand their Panamanian bank account, and there you have it. No taxes on that money coming in.
And you and I just so happen to have the contacts here in Panama to be able to get someone's bank account open for them relatively quickly.
It's very simple. You definitely, one of the big elements is you need to have an attorney letter of recommendation. This attorney obviously would probably be the same attorney that would be helping you with your immigration. So it's kind of like a package deal. You come down to open a bank account. It usually takes between 1 and 1.5 hours. I've seen it take up to 3 hours. There was a little problem with the system at the bank at the time. But, and to do so, all you need is your last year's tax returns. And by providing that and showing where the money came from, Panama just does, Panama wants to make sure that, criminals aren't bringing money into Panama. So makes sense. It's real simple.
Yeah, that's phenomenal. All right, so let's talk about Panama. Somebody wants to leave Canada and come to Panama. I'm the first one to say, come to Panama. They just get out of Canada and come to Panama. But I want to get your take here on the real estate market. All right, because what I can tell you is that I was in Costa Rica, everybody, for 5.5 months, as you know, and I found that on the West Coast, which is where everybody wanted to be, it was very expensive. But here in Panama, there's no beachfront properties really inside of the city of Panama. There are outside of it, but you can buy condominiums within the city for how much? Go ahead.
It's a real, if you want to look at the ocean, you're looking at around $300,000 or more. But just, a few blocks off the ocean, maybe with a partial ocean view, you can find something 180, 230, 250, and that's US dollars.
Yes, everything in Latin America is done in US dollars. But imagine this, everybody, is you want to live in a big city like Panama, which has the old section that was built in the 1650s, which is beautiful beyond reproach.
Gorgeous, yeah.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. You got some of the lower end areas that they're not terrible. They're actually pretty cool, where I'm buying hot food for $3 every single day. I don't cook anymore. I buy full meals for $3 to $5, and that's where it ends for me.
Well, my favorite story about that, Kevin, when I first got to Panama, what brought me to Panama, I wasn't trying to move here. I was only coming here to find gold in the river and spend 3 months and then head over to Australia. I fell in love with the country. And in doing so, out where I was looking for gold in the river, they would sell those lunches, $3.25, $2.75. I can't remember exactly the cost, but a nice piece of chicken or a couple pieces of chicken, lentils, and rice. And, one of the first things I noticed is that the chickens had bones in it, like I had never seen before. And it was like, oh my gosh, I'm finally eating real chicken. So I thought that was a really interesting element. And that's one thing that a lot of people typically that are moving here, they'll notice is that, coming from somewhere like Canada or the US where it's really cold, you pick up a little bit of extra weight, obviously the things that you're eating, more comfort food. When you're down here in Panama, the weather's nice. The food is really good. It's inexpensive, or it can be very expensive, but there's something for everyone, and typically that food is pretty homemade and natural type foods.
I agree with that. That is something that Austin, that would happen to me all the time in Canada. Winter would roll around. I'd put on 25, 30 pounds because Calgary's cold, minus 40. Yeah, it really does. It's terrible, people. I don't think you understand just how bad minus 40 is. And if you live in Alberta, obviously you do. What I find here is that in Panama, we have consistently 12 hours of daylight and 12 hours of dark every day, all year long. And we've got beautiful temperatures every day, all year long. We're in the rainy season now, and everyone's asking me about the rainy season. So here's my observation of the rainy season so far. Today we got rained on for 5 minutes, then 8, and then 30 seconds to a minute, and that was it. That's all we had today. It's pretty wild.
Well, and Kevin, being from the Pacific Northwest of the U.S., when I first moved here and I was so ecstatic about the country, I found my place. The universe was screaming at me to stay here. And a lot of signs came, and, I kept talking about how much I love the country. And the Panamanians were like, oh, wait till rainy season. And being from the Pacific Northwest, you know, rainy season meant mud puddles, gray skies, cold feet, life is horrible. And that's just not the case. You know, I like to call, you know, what the Panamanians call rainy season, green season. Because like you said, you'll get a sprinkle here and there, or a complete downpour for 7 minutes. And, you know, it just really brings the country, the hills, everything alive. Everything turns super green. And, you know, it's just fresh, you know. And a lot of expats that, you know, come down as snowbirds, and they're looking at only coming to Panama right after Christmas. They spend Christmas with their family, and they come down till around mid-April. Well, you know, after the year 3 or 4, you know, they're talking, and, you know, the husband and wife say, you know what, let's stay in Panama for the full year, bring the kids and the grandkids down during summer, and end up really finding a massive love for the green season, or again, some call it rainy season.
Correct. And hurricanes, everyone, I'm getting the hurricane question. There's no hurricanes here. Hurricanes go north. They don't come west.
Yeah, no hurricanes in Panama. We're in a perfect location for that. Not only that, you know, I have, you know, a lot of friends down here. Some are high up on the conspiracy theorist level. Some are mid, some are not. And one thing I have heard from a real educated gentleman is the wind patterns in Panama. Because Panama is so long, you know, it goes east to west. The north to south is really, you know, like you've been in Panama City, you went to Cologne today. How long did it take you? An hour and a half to go from one ocean to the other?
An hour and 5 minutes to get from the south end in Panama City of the Panama Canal to the north end of the Panama Canal in the city of Cologne, which is
exactly
Poland, so right.
And that's what they say, you know, like the winds are like above and below Panama. So it just, again, it's another factor that just, I think is interesting, you know, and I like to share it.
Awesome. Now, Donna, if you're trying to get a hold of me, thank you very much for offering that. Just head over to my personal website, which is up here somewhere in the bio. It's my name, kevinjjohnston.me. Please use the contact form on the website. That is the fastest way to reach me. Because using the private chats on things like TikTok and Instagram, I get to it twice a week, sometimes 3 times a week, but email is every 5 to 10 minutes. So I'll always use my contact form. By the way, everybody, we're at 804 likes. That's unacceptable. Come on. Everyone, let's go double finger that. Just keep tapping on that screen. Let's go. Machine gun fire. It's free to do, and it really helps grow the show. And if you're watching on Rumble, everybody, I'm just going to put myself up full screen right here. If you're watching on Rumble, right about here, there's a thumbs up like that. If you guys could all hit that thumbs up button, please, it helps Rumble find us a whole lot faster. All right. So somebody who does not want, let's see, if they don't want to live in the big city, where should someone like that go in Panama? You're up.
Well, that's a great question, you know, and, you know, that's one thing that I come to find, you know, some clients come with a picture and they're like, I want to move here. And it's like, you know, I understand that one little want, but what are your other wants? So usually when a client is looking at Panama, doesn't want to be in the big city, but they really don't know exactly where they want to be in Panama, I always direct them over to our free 23-question Where Should I Live survey. That's on our website, dopanama.com. At the bottom of that survey is Kevin's name. So anybody that's watching this and you're taking that survey, please click on Kevin's name. Super important. I like to take care of this guy. He does amazing things. He's doing amazing things for all of you viewers out there, helping you connect with guys like me and my affiliations and networks to make your transition not only easy, but also fun in the same time. You know, this should be an exciting time in life. And, you know, once you answer those 23 questions, you submit that 30-minute Zoom call.
Okay. Yeah. So what will happen? Yeah. Do Panama, dopanama.com. Everybody who's watching right now, dopanama.com. You'll see a video of this guy here, Austin Hess, and he's got his hands out like this. He's got the stylish hat on. And to the right of that video, that is where you'll see the questionnaire. There's no typing required except for your name and email address. Just click on the answers, click on my name, and Austin's going to get back to you ASAP and get all your questions answered, because the big thing is going to be to get your questions answered. And of course, if you have questions, not about necessarily real estate sales, but if you want to talk to me about business opportunities here in Panama, Austin, you're going to be amazed to know this. Since I got here, I have met more serious businessmen and women in the last 4 weeks than I ever met in 22 years inside of Canada. And on top
I can
of
imagine.
that, yeah, well, check this one out. We've gone through now a whole bunch of medical technology and the hospitals here in Panama. And I can tell everybody right now who's watching, Panama is 20 years ahead of Canada in the medical arts, medicine in general, and so on. So we're putting together packages for cancer screening and for just health in general, where you can get a CAT scan and an MRI and an X-ray all done within 2 days. Imagine that. In Canada, it's a 18-month wait for an MRI. It's about a 12-month wait for CT scans in some cases. Sometimes,
man, so much can happen in that time.
What's that?
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
That's insane. An MRI, 18 months.
Yes. Yep.
And I mean, it's only a few $100s here. I think like $450, like not much if you don't have even insurance, you know?
Yeah. Well, we're also putting together packages where you're going to be able to get your CAT scan, your CT scan, blood samples, stool samples, urine samples, like get everything done at one time. And then you'll be talking to both me and our good man, Austin Hess here, to get yourself a place to stay. You can buy a property inexpensively, or you can rent long-term. We're going to give you a hand with that. The whole idea, Austin, is that you and I are going to get people staying where they're comfortable so they can get all these treatments done that Canadian hospitals are no longer doing, period.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, you know, that's one thing, too, that we should mention. Since we are talking about, you know, helping people, it's good to note that if you do have a pension, you are able to come down into Panama and your pension is over $1,000 for a single individual or 1,250 accumulative between a married couple. You are eligible for the pensionata visa. That's the retirement visa. And it's the only visa that does not require you to purchase real estate to get a lifetime residency in Panama. Now, if you don't have a pension, there's obviously ways to get your lifetime residency through the Friendly Nation visa, right, and through the qualified investor visa.
All right. So qualified investor visa, that's how much of an investment?
So currently that investment, and you know, I'll go through the differences of the both. So qualified investor is a brand new visa. It is open for anyone in the world can apply for this visa. All you have to have is a clean criminal background check. You have to have a purchase of $300,000 or more in real estate in Panama, which is set to go up to $500,000. They've delayed the last two times that it was set to go up. So we don't know. We know we just elected a new president, a very proactive president looking for, you know, promoting other cultures to move into the country. So will we see that go up to 500,000? We got to keep our eyes out for it. It could happen. It's supposed to happen. Again, they've delayed it twice now. Right. And with that $300,000 purchase of real estate and that clean background check, you literally will have a lifetime permanent residency within a month and a half. Now, with the Friendly Nations visa, this one's been around for a long time. They just modified it. I came in on this one, and they did not require purchasing real estate at the time. However, now you do, and you need to purchase real estate in the amount of $200,000 or more. And what that does is gives you a temporary lifetime residency that, as long as you don't break any laws or do anything silly, converts to a lifetime residency after 2 years.
That's also incredible. Absolutely remarkable. Okay, so everybody, it's an easy country to get into. I'm going to tell you that is when you're flying down here to Panama, have your Canadian or American or European Union passport, show it to them. They like that. All right. They don't dislike Canadians, but they do dislike Trudeau here. Right? That's for sure. But if you're going to come down and tell them that you're staying for 6 months.
Well, hey, did you hear that Trudeau got voted here?
He got what?
He got voted as the #1 real estate agent in Panama.
Trudeau. All right. So everybody, bring your passport, obviously. Get off the plane. And if you're going to be staying for 6 months, which I recommend, get the longest amount of time you can possibly stay. You just have to have an airline ticket that says that you're leaving so that they don't assume that you're going to stay for the rest of your life. Now, if you do not have an airline ticket, and you probably can't get a return ticket with 6 months scheduling down the road, contact me, kevinjjohnston.me. That is my website. And what I will do is I will get you an airline reservation. It's not a ticket. It's a legal airline reservation that states that you are leaving back to the city of origin. And so as long as they see your passport, your ticket to leave the country 6 months later, or your reservation that I'll get you, and they have an idea as to which hotel you're staying in or which house, you're in. And that's it.
Well, and we should say too, Kevin, on that is what he's discussing right now and mentioning is the automatic tourism visa that every U.S. and Canadian citizen gets by visiting Panama. How do you apply for it? You don't need to apply for that visa. It's automatic, and it starts the day you get your stamp. So you come into Panama, you don't have to do anything online. You come in, you get your stamp that you're entering the country, and from that day, as a Canadian or a U.S. citizen, you have 6 months in the country.
There you go. You just have to have that escape ticket. So I'll get you one of those. They're $75 Canadian, not US, but Canadian. It's a legitimate reservation. They accept the reservation, and you are good to stay for that period of time. And then, if you're going to be hanging around Panama City, get a hold of me, because we'll certainly do lunch. I'll show you everything I've learned so far. There are Airbnbs, Donna. There's Airbnbs all over the place, but the problem with Airbnb, Austin, you can contest to this, is that it's a minimum 45-day stay in the city, unless you're licensed as a hotel or licensed.
It's a condo hotel, yeah. And be very careful with that, because in the building I live in Panama City, they changed it. The law has been in place for quite a while, but they're really starting to enforce it, starting to give fines to the renters, right? The people that are illegally renting out their condo as a Airbnb. In my building, they put up a notice in the elevator, and now they just don't allow Airbnbs in the building. I know about 50 people were using their units as Airbnb units. So, just be aware and maybe ask the people, hey, are you a legal Airbnb unit? Again, if you need recommendations, reach out to Kevin or myself. We work with all the legal Airbnb buildings because, again, we're trying to help people invest correctly.
I'm in one right now. I'm in one right now with not one, but 2 rooftop swimming pools. So, and a 360-degree full panoramic view of the entire city. Yes. And I am.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Beautiful view.
It is an amazing place. And the weather's been remarkable, as we talked about earlier in the show. The food is fantastic. And no, that's the thing, Megan. Panama is about 1/3 the cost of Costa Rica, literally. That includes.
Oh, maybe more, maybe less. Costa Rica got really expensive,
Well, here's some of the things I'll put in perspective for you. All right. The condo that I'm in right now is selling for $175,000. The same condo, which was about 800 square feet, just a little bit less than 800 square feet, was selling for over $350 in Costa Rica with $750 US fees monthly. And that's unaffordable. Whereas the fees in this place are less than $150 per month, which is absolutely astounding. As I said, food in this neighborhood that I'm in, I can walk out every day and I go try different restaurants every single day. I'm paying $3 to $5. This morning for breakfast, I went over to a little place. It looked like, remember that movie Blade Runner? There's a lot of outdoor restaurants where there's just like a roof and a wall. So I go out and we're starving in the morning. I got 8 pieces of chicken and cornbread and 4 cups of coffee, $8.
Why did you need 4 cups of coffee?
4 people in the car.
Oh, okay. Just making sure. Be careful. I know the coffee here is really, really good,
Yeah,
but don't overdo it.
Correct. So cars in Costa Rica, cars are horribly expensive because the vast majority of the roads in Costa Rica destroy cars just based on the fact that they're mostly dirt with packed rocks in the dirt. Whereas every single road I've been on in all the areas I've been to are completely paved. Some of them are even smooth concrete. So cars do last, which means they are far less expensive here. Plus they come in on the canal. That's the best part.
Yeah.
Here, Austin, car rentals. We tried to rent a car in Costa Rica. This angered me beyond reproach. We tried to rent a car in Costa Rica. It was going to be $16,000 for 4 months. But then we called Enterprise Rent-A-Car in Panama City. The same type of vehicle, not the exact same vehicle, but the same type of vehicle was about $1,650. So 10 times cheaper to rent a car in Panama City versus on the west coast of Costa Rica. But we were told, Austin, that we could not rent the car in Panama and drive it back into Costa Rica because the Costa Rican government has different insurance rules and will not let Panamanian rental vehicles into the country. So look, I'm not cutting up Costa Rica. I had a great time there. It is a beautiful country.
And it's great for some people, for sure.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I loved it. And if you're a real estate prospector, you'll make a lot of money on the west coast of Costa Rica. But for me, I like city life. I like to be in the action. And I'm always looking for business opportunities, to which there are a ton here in Panama. Absolute ton. So Austin, getting back now to real estate, what do Canadians and Americans need to know about what's different between real estate here and real estate back home?
It's a lot of it's the same. One of the things about Panama is that, yes, Panama is its own republic, but Panama became a republic when the United States bought the canal from the French. That was one of the stipulations, is that Panama separated from Colombia. So a lot of the things like titles, when you have a title, it's your land, it's in your name, in your foundation, in your corporation, you're protected, your family's protected on inheriting that. A lot of those laws are the same as up north, which is really nice. You don't see that in places all around the world, Southeast Asia, sometimes in Mexico. I've heard really weird stories about, attorneys having to be on the title as well. And I don't know how that can make an investor feel comfortable. Definitely wouldn't make me feel comfortable. I like to know that, my property, and when I buy it, is going to be secure and, again, is able to be passed down to my family. It's not like I know in some countries you get a 99-year rights of possession or until you pass away, and then it goes back to whoever or the government. So you don't have anything like that. It's all like the US and Canada. When you buy a property here, it's your property. It goes in your name, your foundation name, or your corporation, depending on what you decide to do, how you want to set it up. You can go over all that with the attorney. Everyone's different. There's certain reasons to do it one way or the other. And again, it all has to do with each person and their individual wants and needs for wanting to do that.
I think it's incredibly easy, though, to do business here in buying real estate because, you got a gentleman like yourself, and we had Liz on the show about 3 weeks ago. And you're both so well connected and so well versed in the industry here that it's minutes to get the offers in and just a couple of days to get the deal done.
And the typical process, the full process usually takes about a month. Once we get an offer, we send it. When it's with a developer, and Liz is a financial advisor from one of my favorite developers in the country. And, when it's with a developer, typically, that same contract, each of the attorneys throughout the country have seen it at least 3 or 4 times because they have other clients buying in that building. And so it's a lot quicker of a process than when you're buying a resale where, you're also not having to look at, the status of the HOA payments, the status of the taxes, making sure everything's paid up in full on electricity and water. These are all things that you would have your attorney and your real estate company looking at when you're buying a resale. But when you're buying through a developer, it's a lot quicker and a lot easier. You don't have to look at all those things. Obviously we want to make sure that there's no lien against any property on a resale. So, our legal team goes and looks at the property. We get, documents from if it's in a building, from the building itself stating that the HOA has been paid. Like those are all big things, because if you buy a property and it has, a $6,000 debt on their homeowners association fee because they didn't pay it for 3 years, well, then, you're going to want to know that. And that's, again, all the things that is the whole reason I started Do Panama, and I got all these great attorneys together. These are all attorneys, realtors, pet relocators, furniture relocation companies. These are people that I would introduce my mother or my grandmother to, and again, that's why I set this company up. I don't like seeing silly things happen. And usually it's not mischievous. It's just not the American or Canadian standard way of doing business. And so again, I built a network of people that do work on our standard. And again, most of our clients feel much more confident and comfortable when they're knowing, they're making a big decision in life. They're moving to another country. They're buying real estate. Like, it's a pretty serious thing,
All right, Austin, we're going to rapid fire some questions here because we're getting a few now in the TikTok room. Donna wants to know, do you have to pay land taxes here?
Yes, you do. Land taxes are very low. It depends on the property, where it's located. And, typically you can think around 1% the value of the property. Again, there's ways of structuring that and how you register your property. Again, the attorneys can go over with you. Also, there's a lot of, there is not only property tax, there's also, or land tax, there's property tax. A lot of the property tax has been on some of these developments. When they went to build them, they had like a 10 or 15-year exemption. So, now on new builds, they're about 5 or 6 year. It all depends on when they start or when they submit their all their stuff to the government. But these are all things that, again, when you find a specific property that you're interested in, we go into the details on that.
Of course. Next question. Do mortgages work the same in Panama as Canada and the US?
That is not, no, they do not. I'm not going to say it's impossible to get a mortgage here in Panama, but it's definitely not as easy. They're going to want probably 50% down, a bank will, and they're going to want like 2 months of mortgage in a bank account that you open up with them. Now, there's one other thing that does make a mortgage difficult. If you're needing to purchase real estate to get residency in the country, the way you do that is by getting the title. And of course, the bank's not going to release the title until you pay off the mortgage. So you're not able to use that title to then apply for your residency.
Okay, so title is key.
Title is key. So, again, if you're planning on, a lot of people are coming down and doing like, one of Burns projects that we've talked about on the show. They do milestone payments. When they hand you the keys, they'll then in-house finance you for up to 5 years. Now, if you don't need your residency right away, because that's a legal Airbnb building, a lot of Canadians and Americans are looking at it as, okay, I'm going to invest. I'm going to do the milestone payments. It's about $25,000 a year. Once you get into the in-house financing, it's about $25,000 a year to pay that off. They're doing that over time while they're making money off their unit. And then at the end, when they have their title, they will also have permanent lifetime residency in the country as a plan B. A lot of people are looking for that plan B. If the stuff hits the fan, they want to be able to get on a plane and have a secure place to go to.
All right. Next question. Is it hot? Well, yes, it's a tropical country, but I find the temperature is incredible. Like for me, 82, 83 Fahrenheit is an amazing.
Perfect. Yeah.
It is perfect. Now, today we had cloud cover, so I'd say it was closer to 76, but that's the rainy season, right? So you're going to get that.
And we should also say that on this as well, Kevin, is that's in Panama City. That's in the beach towns. We have 4 or 5 different mountain towns and areas that are very popular amongst expats. And, you can get around 65 to 75 degrees. So like Boquete, Panama, for example, this is a place that a lot of expats go to because it's warmer than back home, but it's not as hot as being on a beach here in Panama. And if they want to go down the beach, it's an hour and a half one way, 2.5, 3 hours the other way. And you can be on 2 different beautiful oceans or islands, right? So again, it's just everyone has their flavor of ice cream. And that's why we really like people to take that relocation survey, because I've been around the country so many times I literally, if you put 8 Canadians in a room and they are all from 8 different parts of Panama living there, I could probably tell you just by looking at how they're dressed. Like I've just been around the country so much, and I have so many great friends from Canada, the US, all over Europe. You know, that's another thing, is that we have such a mixing pot of individuals and different cultures here. It just makes it a special place.
Yeah, it certainly does. Okay. So Bruenzi 71, if you're coming down in December, yes, we will help you find a place outside the city with a pool. In fact, there is an Airbnb that you can utilize called Casa Bonita that has a rooftop pool that looks at the entrance of the Panama Canal. And we were there yesterday having another look at the rooftop pool there, Austin. And we counted, there were 28 ships waiting to go into the canal. Just sitting there,
it's amazing,
waiting their turn. It was just awesome.
Well, you know, and speaking of that, some of them are there sitting, waiting for their next job, because obviously it's a very good pivot point, right? Do they need to go east or do they got to go west? And, you know, so a lot of ships wait. Obviously, some are waiting for transfer. Some are waiting for their payments to clear. Some are waiting for supplies. So, you know, they're all out there, which I do love too, by the way, because usually when you're on like a beachfront condominium, you know, at night, there's nothing to look at. It's just pitch dark out there. But when you have all these ships out there, it looks like a city out in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it definitely enhances the beauty of that view, where it's not just a daytime view, it's also a nighttime view as well.
Yeah, it is. It's a beautiful thing. And the ships keep their lights on because by law they have to. So as Austin said, it does kind of look like a miniature city out there.
I mean, I've done it so many times where I say, hey, do you know what part of the city that is? And they're like, dude, I don't remember that part of the city. I'm like, it's not the city, you know, like oh my gosh. Cause you know, like when there's so many lights on, they just kind of blend together and it looks like there's a city out there.
It does. All right. Can you pay in crypto? Well, if you're talking to me, yes, you can. I can get your crypto converted for you. That's part of what I do down here in Latin America. Paying directly to Austin. Can they do it directly to you?
Well, for my services, I give everything for free when you're buying real estate. That's kind of the way we set it up. You know, again, we're here to help people. Can you buy real estate with crypto? Yes, you can. Now, there's one issue with that, is that, and I've interviewed the finance minister for the presidency on this, and this is one of the questions I asked him. Hey, can someone buy the real estate with crypto? Yes, they can. However, to qualify for that purchasing of real estate in the amount of 200,000 or 300,000 for each of those visas, it needs to go from one bank to another. So you would have to convert it before bringing it to Panama. Now, if you don't need the visa, I got the hotel that we just posted about 3 hours ago on our YouTube channel. The seller will accept full crypto on that purchase.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Just checking more of the questions here. All right. And no, everybody, global warming is not a thing here. The ocean has the high tide. It's got the low tide. There's about a 12 to 16 foot difference between the two of them, but that's normal. There
on
is
the Pacific.
Nothing wrong. What's that?
On the Pacific. On the Caribbean, over on Colón side, Bocas del Toro, San Blas, it's usually about a foot to 2 feet. Caribbean side. It's only on the Pacific that you got the big tide.
Got it. All right. We just had to block a troll there. It's been great. This is the first troll we've had in about 10 different shows. So gone. That's all. Don't worry, folks. The bad man went bye-bye. We get rid of them. All right, everyone. Do you have any further questions there for Austin or myself? We've got about 15 minutes left before we have to get going here. But I did want to talk about this today. I went to the city of Colón, which is about an hour and 5 minutes north of Panama. It is literally the other end of the Panama Canal. We went to what was called the free zone. All right. This is a city it's like a city inside of the city of Colón. It's a complete walled city. There's over 1,000 duty-free shops. My God, I bought new headphones today. I bought new shoes today. I paid $5 for shoes. I paid $8 for for new Apple headphones. I paid $7 for a beard trimmer. Yeah, because some of you were whining about the beard. It's okay. You're allowed to whine. This thing is incredible. Women's clothing, $2. Bras for you ladies, because you're paying what, $90 for a bra back home? $2. Holy smoke. Talk about this. What is the economic zone, the free zone? What is it?
So what this is overstock. So when things are moving on the ship, say from China, going to elsewhere in the world, you know, before it hits Panama, it's about 2.5 months on the boat. So orders change. You know, we see the same thing with cars. That's why vehicles are such a good deal here. But, you know, a lot of those duty-free stores, and then you'll get a lot of the other South and Central American countries coming here buying that to take back. Colombia is huge on that. Venezuela's huge on that, and all the others as well.
Wow. Yeah. So I can tell you that I was floored at it. It's a bigger economic zone and a bigger series of buildings with shops in it than most small towns in Canada. I'm serious. It's not a joke, everyone. It is huge. Like I used to go to small towns all over the province of Ontario. That was when I was a married guy. The ex-wife and I would always shoot around and go check out small towns. The kids, we'd take them out and let them see everything. The footprints of all of these small towns were probably like 20%, maybe, of the entire footprint of this duty-free shopping zone. Whoa.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing.
Oh, but you got to flash your passport to get in. It's a $10 admission fee to get in, and then you go shopping. All right. $7 for a beard trimmer. My God. and I'm going to head back there next week because they have the new Galaxy. It's the Note 24, the new cell phone. Because my cell phone's 7 years old now. I can't believe it still works. In fact, you're watching the show right now on my 7-year-old cell phone. It's time for a new one. It's only $1,000 to get the new Galaxy Note phone that I'm looking for. It's almost $2,000 back in Canada for the same phone.
There you have it.
That's absolutely incredible. And a currency down here, Panama is linked to directly tethered. The Balboa currency is directly tethered to the American dollar. And if you do come down here, everybody, Panama does not print paper money. They just use the American bill. So if we had one guy try this crap on me. There's no such thing as a $1 bill or a $10 bill that's Panamanian. It's U.S. money. You'll get the Balboa coin, which looks like the Canadian toonie, the $2 coin in Canada, silver on the outside, gold in the middle. That's worth $1. But Austin, I gotta figure this one out. Okay, the United States. I didn't know the United States printed $1 coins on their own. They're gold in color, like the Canadian loonie, they call it, the $1 coin.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes I'll get change back in the way of these $1 US coins, and maybe 1 out of 10 shops won't take those ones. Is there a reason why?
I don't know. Maybe they're just not familiar with them.
That's my thought as well. So, but all the ice cream vendors.
I've never seen a U.S. dollar. I've been here 12 years. I've never been given a U.S. dollar coin and change. Yes, on quarters, dimes, and nickels. And yes, the quarters, dimes, and nickels and pennies that they have that are Panamanian Balboa currency are the same shape, the same size. They just have a different picture on them. But everything coincides with the U.S. Change.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Donna, I just gave you a private message there on TikTok. I gave you my phone number, which you're not going to share with anybody. Please text me because I know you've been trying to reach me. It's not a problem. Please do so. All right. Yes. So I got the U.S. gold coin. It was just one of those things where I felt bad. I felt terrible. All right. Here's one of the snacks in Panama here. They'll take a whole mango and they'll slice it into wedges, and then they'll douse it in apple cider vinegar and hit it with sea salt and pepper.
Delicious.
It's delicious. And I bought 2 of them. So I had this girl a $20 bill for only $3 worth of mango, and she gave me 17 of these American $1 coins back. That's why I was just wondering.
You know what? She must have got hit by a tourist or something with those $1 coins.
Fantastic. All right, we're down to our last 10 minutes here. Is there any major important point about real estate purchasing here in Panama that you'd like to cover? Go ahead.
Yeah, I think we've really covered it all. Again, if anybody's looking and they're serious about wanting to get out of Canada or the US, go take the survey. That's the best first step. Then, we can get on a Zoom call. We can discuss your answers and really figure out where the best areas in the country are going to be for you when you come to check it out. We have an affiliation of realtors throughout the entire country. We have 97 affiliates that work with our company and that we assist with connecting you with, we're all about the dot connecting and making sure people have a successful and fun experience when relocating to Panama.
For sure. And user 0635, if you and I met in Mississauga, then I'll let you know the phone number I used to have in Mississauga. That one's gone. But head over to my personal website, please. Just use the contact form there, and I will get a hold of you. If you send me your phone number, I'll get a hold of you, and we can chat about your relocation here to Panama. All right. Just having a quick look. A bunch of questions just kind of flew in there. Mitch, thank you very much for the rose. I appreciate that. Absolutely appreciate that. Okay, very good. I'm just going to check the other places here. I want to see who's asking questions. We want to hit as many questions as we possibly can tonight. All right. So, Austin, what's the deal with Do Panama? I don't know what that question means, so I'll just get you to repeat what you got to do on Do Panama.
So, like I said, Do Panama, we started this company. Number one goal was to make sure expats were getting the proper care and attention they should and deserve when looking at Panama. So if you go to dopanama.com, again, you got a survey there. We have a lot of our articles that we have from our magazine, the Restaurant, Travel, and Lifestyle magazine, which when you come to the country, we'll make sure you get a free copy. Of course, we have it online as well. If you like checking out all the restaurants we have here, I know Kevin's talking about all this great food. If you want to see some of these great restaurants, you can go to our magazine website, which is the restaurantpty.com. And there you can see all of the editions we've ever done on that website. And, going back over to Do Panama, again, we post a lot of those articles. We know that it's not just about buying real estate. It's about finding the lifestyle that's right for you. I want you to be happy 3 years from now. I'm not trying to sell real estate just to sell real estate. I want people to find their tribe, to find their area, and to make sure that they are getting exactly what's going to be best for them in 10 days and 1,000 days, right? I want to make sure that these people are really well directed, and that's, again, what we do with Do Panama.
Wonderful. So for those who are wondering what Austin was saying there, that is dopanama.com, dopanama.com. You'll see Austin in a video on the homepage. On the right side of that video is a survey link. Click on that, answer the questions. It's all click questions. There's no typing involved except for your name and email. And at the bottom, click on my name, and that way the two of us will get back to you a whole lot faster. Okay, there you go. That's perfect. dopanama.com. My website for those who just want to send me quick questions in email or to have me help you with your income tax problems and your corporate tax problems in Canada. It's in the bio up here on TikTok, kevinjjohnston.me, and those watching on Rumble, Facebook, Restream, and Twitch, DLive, YouTube, everywhere else in the bottom right corner, you'll see it there. That's kevinjjohnston.me. As for those wanting to know about dating, we did that show last night. That was the political stuff last night. Watch last night's replay. Sam is asking what it costs for a house. Sam, head over to dopanama.com. Please answer the survey that you'll find there. Austin will get back to you fast, and he'll let you know exactly what you've got in the way of options price-wise. Go ahead. Yeah,
and then also on the website, people can gander and see different prices and values on different areas. I know, and that's why we keep talking, Kevin, you and I keep talking about the survey, because then we can really start looking at what region or regions in Panama should be of interest and where you should be looking, because a house in Boquete is a lot different than a house in Volcan, and a house in Pedasí is a lot different than a house in Coronado, and those are both mountain towns and both beach towns. So it really depends on each individual and what you're looking for in your lifestyle. And, you can get houses down here for $80,000 if you want. You can get houses down here for $6 million if you want, so really it's a very, very large spectrum of what's available on the market.
Yeah, and you and I are going to be talking very soon, because I just found out that there is a whack load of $56,000 3-bedroom townhomes being built. It's unbelievable what you can do here in Panama. And Austin, I drove west of Panama City for 4 days last week and 1 day this week, and the monorail. They're building a new highway, 4 more lanes of traffic to get people in and out of Panama City, and a monorail system.
Yeah. Well, currently you can take that rail right from the airport right into downtown Panama City. Now it's going to go underneath the Panama Canal. The bridge will go above the 4th bridge they're building right now, or they're starting. And as you can see on the other side, where Toucan and Casa Bonita, and then obviously I'm 3 hours from that bridge that's currently there, the Bridge of the Americas. You have the Centennial, and now they're building the new massive bridge, which is going to, again, just give more accessibility, getting people in and out, especially during holidays. Panamanians love their holidays. They are always going out and celebrating life. It's a beautiful culture. And that's one of my favorite parts about this country, is that you get to watch it grow. Nothing is more exciting than seeing something flourish and being a part of it. So, again, the country is just, I don't want to offend the country, but it's still in diapers. It's still very young country, but it has so much opportunity to grow, and it's growing all the time. It's just incredible.
It certainly is. So Austin, I'm going to let you get going here. I got a couple more questions I'm going to answer. Thank you very much for being here, man. It's always an absolute pleasure to see you. And this is Austin Hess, who is my partner in crime here, selling people properties and helping them relocate properly to Panama. You can catch Austin at dopanama.com. Click on the survey, answer the questions, click on my name, and we're going to get right back to you. Austin?
Thanks, guys. Have a good night, Kevin. Thanks for having me, and I'll talk to you soon, brother.
You got it, man. You got it. Austin Hess, everybody. What an amazing guy. Absolutely amazing guy. How do you secure your money from Canada, everybody? You can get a hold of me on my website. Just use the contact form. That's Kevin J. Johnston, myname.me. Use the contact form. I'll put you in touch with my lawyer. She is absolutely remarkable, this lady. Speaks fluent English, is connected with every single bank in Panama City. And you also have to factor in, everyone, the Panama Canal is the #1 industry here in Panama. Number 2 is banking. You want to make money? You do it here in Panama. A lot of money to be made there. That is for sure. Kevin, can I just leave Canada and forget about the money owed? If you owe money to Canada Revenue Agency, they can only chase you on that for between 7 and 10 years. You cannot do prison time in Canada for owing taxes, everyone. So let's get that notion out of your head. All right. They'll needle you and call you and harass you. But if they can't find you, and if you just said, the hell with it, and you've left the country, there is nothing that they can do. Where would you, Mitch is asking, where's the safest areas for a single lady to check out? Well, if you're going to be here in Panama City, where the cool nightlife is, I would guide you as to where all the safest areas are. There's a couple of streets, not very many, just a couple of streets that we were warned not to go to at night, so we don't go. I heed all my warnings. But when I'm right downtown, and in the northeast of Panama City, there's women just walking around, running, jogging, whatever it is, with their headphones on, and not a care in the world. So it's not a violent place. That's the best part about it. All right, just going to check the rest of your questions here, because I also have to get going myself. And everyone's saying thank you, Austin. He had to take off. All righty. And for those who want to come down and buy me a beer, I don't drink beer, but I'll take coffee anytime. Coffee is my vice. I don't drink, smoke, or do drugs, but coffee is my vice. All right, everyone, that's going to be it for now. I want to say thank you very much for those of you who are watching on Facebook and Rumble, YouTube, Twitter, Restream, Twitch, D Live, like everywhere. We're everywhere tonight. Thanks for being here, everyone. I greatly appreciate that. And we will see you next week. And don't forget the Kevin J. Johnston Show. The political show is still every Tuesday and Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And this real estate show is every Wednesday. That would be Eastern Time, Toronto time, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, Wednesdays. Thanks for being here. And we'll see you next week. Take care.